This is the Fight Strength Podcast.
All right, let's go.
Get the insight and perspective from two elite strength and conditioning coaches who work with the full spectrum of fighters from amateur to UFC champions.
That's it, JJ. Finish it. Finish it.
We don't just talk about it.
Keep moving.
We are about it.
Don't stop. Let's roll.
We live this.
Come on, D.
You're listening to the Fight Strength Podcast with me, Phil Daru, and McGregor McNair.
Good job. That's how we roll.
Thank you for joining us, everybody, on the Fight Strength Podcast. This is episode number 46. I'm your host, McGregor McNair, co-host and man of the hour, Phil Daru, and some fucking English guy who happened to tag along for the ride, Mr. Dan Howard. How are we, gentlemen?
Good.
Good, man, good.
Yeah.
Good. So we're coming live at you guys from Singapore. We've spent the last 3 days presenting and sharing with a group of amazing coaches and really cool people here in Singapore. We've had people from all over Asia, from Thailand, Philippines. I think there was one Chinese person there as well. So people came from kind of all over this part of the world to be a part of this seminar, and I really feel like we knocked it out of the park. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good experience. I felt like a lot of people got what they wanted out of it. You know, everybody gave good content, and it was a good. Like I said, everybody kind of accepted what we were trying to put out, and I think they learned a lot. So that was a good thing.
Yeah. What did you feel, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. I think you can tell just their eagerness to learn and their eagerness to get as much out of it as possible was really good.
Yeah.
They were really kind of hanging on every word and trying to learn as much as possible, learn the protocols that are going on in different places of the world with different levels of fighters. So hopefully they learned a lot and enjoyed their time.
Yeah, absolutely. And the guys who hosted the seminar were Andin and Daphne and Penn and Emil.
Yeah, pretty much the whole Strength Avenue team at the gym there hosted it.
Yeah.
I would say that, Andin was the one that actually hit me up and DM'd me and got it all together, brought us out here, brought me and my wife out here. I invited you guys because I knew that they would get more content out of it, more value. That's basically what we're trying to accomplish here, is trying to give maximum amount of value as possible with the limited time we have, traveling. I do this a lot, do this around the world, and the main thing that I would love to do is also bring more people in and help people out as much as I possibly can. So it was a good thing to bring you guys out here, and obviously we killed it. It was a good look. Everybody was excited, and they got what they wanted and got what they needed. Yeah,
it certainly felt that way. It felt like no one was left wanting more. I mean, maybe there were. I
think you're always left wanting more. So
But that's a good thing, though.
In terms of expectations being met, I feel like the consensus was that we went above and beyond the Call of Duty, above and beyond what people usually get out of a seminar.
Yeah.
I feel like the amount of one-on-one attention that all three of us gave everyone who wanted it surpassed their expectations. So I really feel like it was a really valuable seminar.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
For sure, man.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, and the good thing was that we all kind of collectively did our own thing, and we got our own styles out there. Me obviously working with the program and periodization schemes, and also talking about the art of coaching. Went into some, obviously, with the weight cutting and talk about dietary, supplementation and all that good stuff. And then we did the workshop. We did all the practicals. You came in, talked about GPP, talked about aerobic capacities, talked about coaching. Then Dan dropped in with a lot of the knowledge and statistics with, VBT.
All that nerdy shit.
Yes, yeah, it was a lot of nerdy shit in there. But it was a good mixture of everything, and that's primarily what we wanted to do. And it kind of segments into what we do with FSI, segments into what I do with my mentorship. So it's always a good look where you can kind of give little bits and pieces of what we try to do from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah, and I really feel like I came into this with an objective, which was to open up pathways to bring FSI into this part of the world when the certification programs and really the structure of our product offerings is kind of in place. I feel like we knocked that out of the park too. I reckon there's several opportunities in the future to bring FSI into this part of the world again. And so I think that kind of really checked that off the list for me in a big way.
Whenever we go to different countries and I got 3 more to go to by the end of this year, that's always going to segment into what we're doing as far as bringing people in the community together from a combat sports, from a fight sports coaching perspective, because we are trying to bring this whole thing out as far as, from a coaching standpoint, from strength and conditioning coaches for mixed martial arts, for boxing, for wrestling, all combat sports together. And if we can get more people involved and show them that they're not alone, we can make it happen. So, Dan, you are a motherfucker today, bro.
Jesus, man.
Oh, look at it already. Just turn it off. Man,
yeah, well done.
Dan Howard, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Too popular.
He'll be here all week.
That's his girlfriend calling him. He's talking about you too popular, by the way.
So let's change gears for a second. Why don't we tell everybody what our impressions of Singapore are? Because this is your first time in Singapore. Dan and I have been to Singapore in the past. For me, it was like 15 years ago. So a lot's changed. But
better go get that.
yeah, dude, that's
Better get that.
that's really quite disruptive. I was on a roll there. But tell me, what are your thoughts of Singapore so far?
It's a nice area. I would say that it's probably one of the safest areas in this region. You know what I mean? And I've seen nothing. People are nice and real inviting. It wasn't nothing crazy. The architecture here is fucking phenomenal, as you can see in the background if you're watching on video.
Can you see Marina Bay Sands in the background there? Yeah. That's one of the most iconic buildings.
I would say that's the one thing that really stood out was just the architecture and the building of everything out here, man. It's just over the top, which is awesome to see. And I've been to several cities, especially obviously in the U.S., and this is by far one of the most amazing types of scenery that I've seen, in my life. So that's cool.
Yeah, above and beyond. I think it's so over the top. You see that building towards the coastline there. There's 3 massive towers, and it's all kind of co-joined with those levels and platforms and gardens hanging off them. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's cool.
Over the top. I loved it. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You can tell they really, really kind of think about everything they're doing. It's not just sort of stick a building here. They've, especially with Marina Bay Sands, they've thought about where you're going to be able to see it from, how you're going to be able to see it, the views from it, the views to it, all that sort of stuff as well. And obviously the food is just really good. Yeah. Just amazing. So cheap as well. Really good food. We haven't even tried the chili crab.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We need to do that tonight, bro.
Other than that, just amazing and just so cheap, so nice. Everyone's so nice. The coaches are amazing here. So yeah,
it's a great vibe. It's a fantastic city. Having lived in Hong Kong for 6 years myself, this has been a really refreshing. It kind of reminds me different parts and different pieces of Singapore kind of in little ways remind me of Hong Kong, but the experience here is so different. I think I've really taken a liking to Singapore life. I can see myself spending more time over here.
And that's the thing that we might obviously going to be back here next year and setting out new relationships with all these people and create new ones. That's one thing that we wanted to do is reach out to everybody. The good thing is that we have the means of social media to do so. So, I mean, for me, it opened up a lot of doors. Obviously I wouldn't have met you two gentlemen, and I wouldn't have been here, sitting with you guys talking on the podcast. So, definitely a good thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, massive shout out to Andon for setting this up. I mean, it's the beauty of what you do. You were telling someone earlier today, like, you're from this backwater place in Florida, and you're here today basically because you've been putting stuff out on social media, constantly creating content, constantly helping people, constantly trying to create change in this industry. And you know, here you are, you know, here we are. It's all as a result of that stuff, I think. You know, and shout out to Andon for you know, setting this up and reaching out.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it takes. I mean, you reached out to me, he reached out to me, and for me, I try to make sure that I answer all messages and DMs or whatever the case may be, wherever you're trying to contact me from. And that's something that I know that's there if I do answer these questions or I do answer these emails or these DMs, you know. So I make sure that I take a day or time a day to answer these questions or to answer anybody that reaches out, because opportunities may arise. So definitely, if you're looking to send me a message, trust me, I'll read them.
Reach out. You never know where you might end up. So why don't we get into some fun stuff about the week and some of the stuff we've been presenting on. There was some major changes or some major additions to your usual content for seminars that you rolled out this time in Singapore. Why don't you tell everybody what they were, what the new material was that you rolled out this time?
Well, the one that I really harped on to this time was the art of coaching. Yeah. You know, talking about ultimate buy-in between you and your fighters, or you and your clients and athletes, understanding the person through communication, through understanding what they've gone through in the past, getting actually a true questionnaire and sitting them down and getting an assessment when it came down to it, not just a physiological assessment, but a mental assessment. Yeah. And then getting to know that individual and then learning and understanding what actually drives them, you know, from a sporting perspective, but also just from a living perspective. What do they want to accomplish? What's their vision? What's their goals? And then you could correlate a program and a coaching status or a coaching relationship with that athlete. So that was something that I really did harp on and taught the guys, you know, for what was new in my presentations. That was something that I could say that I definitely brought that out. It was awesome. Sure.
I mean, I remember last time in it was either Sydney or Melbourne, you touched on the art of coaching. Yeah. But like it was a small segment within one of your lectures, but this time, like, it was a good solid block. It might have been a good 40-45 minutes.
Like 45 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a really in-depth you know, expose to the art of coaching, the way you see it.
Yeah, I talked about leadership, and I talked about, you know, what it takes to be a good coach, and also different styles of coaching, whether it be the hard nose, you know, or the player's coach in a sense. And there's different types of levels to it, you know. And then you got to find out who you are, and then when you can find who you want to be, and as far as what your style is and what your personality is, you can match it to, you know, any individual that you're coaching. But you got to understand that individual first and foremost.
How much of that shit do you want to give away on the podcast?
I mean, we can give a little bit away. I'm always down for free content, obviously. But I mean, it just really comes down to it. At the end of the day, is just knowing that person that you're working with, and then also knowing yourself. And self-awareness is key. Excellent. And also having patience with that individual, because it is going to take a while for you to actually get true trust and buy-in with them. Because for me, and I can give you an example with Dustin, and now me and Dustin are probably the closest I've been with him, and you know, this time I've actually trained him, and I've been with him for roughly 3 years now. But for the first year, it was still like a feeling out process, you know. We had to kind of see how our styles would mix and match, you know. So what I would do is I would make sure that I would understand and ask him questions on a constant daily basis, either when he was in camp with me or out of camp. And I kept that lines of communication even when he left to go to Louisiana. Same thing with Joanna. You know, we kept that line of communication. I always, you know, asked her what she was doing, asked her how she was feeling, you know, things like that. And that right there shows a lot when it comes down to obviously creating a bond with an individual. If you're a little bit drawn out and not really talking to them and just kind of giving them their workout or giving them their program, you're not really going to create that buy-in and that trust, because they just think that you're out there just for a paycheck. And that's one thing that I can truly say that I'm not, you know what I mean? And honestly, and let's be all honest, you know, the sport of MMA isn't a luxury sport right now. You know, I'm not making millions over here trying to train these fighters. The best thing that I could come up with is actually seeing and watching them grow and succeed and winning championships. And even at the highest level, you know, I'm looking at that as a means to almost live through them vicariously, because obviously I had to stop fighting, you know what I mean? And I know I don't want to be like a crazy parent, but, you know, that's basically what I see. And you can see it if you ever seen a clip of me in Melbourne. You can see when Dustin beat Eddie. Oh yeah, I'm jumping up and down like it was my own fight, and I get nervous for my fighters, just like if I were to go to fight. Matter of fact, I get more nervous than I did when I fought, watching them fight, and that's just because I'm there for them 100%, 120% to be honest with you. And at the end of the day, I'm working towards them and working toward their success, and that's what makes you a true coach, and that's what makes you a good coach.
I love that. I think there's one aspect of this that didn't come up in the seminar, either the stuff we did in Australia or the stuff we've done here in Singapore. It's a question that's kind of been in the back of my mind when it comes to creating trust and buy-in with your athletes. My question to you is, like, you've got fucking 86 guys and girls in camp at any one time. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of relationship, a lot of responsibility. Like, how do you personally manage that?
I mean, it's hard work. It's not going to be easy. I go in there every day and I shake everybody's hand and I ask them how they're doing, even if the ones that don't work with me. And I have over 200 fighters at ATT. Every fighter in there knows who I am and always comes up to me and asks me how I'm doing. So that right there shows people that I actually am doing what I'm supposed to be doing when it comes down to buying in and having EQ. You know, having emotional intelligence to actually go out of my way to see how they're feeling or help them in any type of way possible. Even if I'm not working with them one-on-one, if they have any questions for me, they know they can come to me. And that's one thing that you got to do. And if, man, like you said, man, I do have over 80 fighters, and every 80 of those fighters know that they can come to me at any time and email me, text me, whatever they can, and ask me a question, and I'll answer it like that. You know what I mean? It's just because I go the extra mile for my athletes. And yeah, it may be more time consuming. You may not, quote unquote, have time for it. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a great coach, if you want to create buy-in, if you want to create trust, and you want to have progression in your programming, then that's what you have to do.
You got to make it.
Yeah. You know, that's with anything. It's like, you ain't going to do shit. You can know all the shit you want. You can be, you know, a scholar, fucking go to the top university in the world. But if you don't put in the fucking hard work, you're not going to be where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I mean, that's why you guys are sitting with me, because you guys do put in the work, but you also are very intelligent. You know, there's a lot of guys with a shit ton of skill, but no will. And that's one thing you gotta involve, is having the will and the skill to match it up.
For sure, man. I love that. And what about you, Daniel? You had some contributions to this seminar also. Why don't you talk about your experience?
So really amazing experience. As I said, you know, the coaches are always eager to learn here. And you can just tell that in the way they participate. My favourite part was probably the practical stuff. So when we got them out on the track.
Oh man, you got to share that shit with these guys.
So we got the guys out on the track, basically running through one of Phil's dynamic warm-ups.
How hot was it on the day?
It was pretty fucking hot. So you were looking at sort of, what was it, like 34?
Well, it was 34, but on the rubber track.
On the track, yeah, the surface reflecting.
The surface is reflecting that heat back up. I mean, it was fucking hot.
So it's like 90 plus degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
For my US guys.
A lot of them were arguing as well with the bleep test that the track surface was softer because it was so hot, which meant that obviously the ground force reaction was a little bit higher. So yeah, they had to work hard.
Running out of sponge.
That's bullshit, but still. Basically, we got done a dynamic warm-up with Phil. I think they're pretty dead after that, to be honest, just with the heat.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The dynamic warm-up went for a good 15-20 minutes. And 15-20 minutes in that sun with the heat reflecting back up. And I mean, it's not an easy warm-up.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it is for high-level fighters.
Yeah.
So and they already know the movement, so I had to teach the movements.
Yeah, that's right.
And correct them, and then on top of that, they were doing it at a pace that my fighters would do it.
Yeah.
Which they all are in shape to do it. You know what I mean? So
some of these coaches just quietly weren't in shape.
Yeah. Let's put it in nicely. Yeah.
and they just haven't got the efficiency in their movements yet, either, you know. So, but yeah, we've done a little bit of movement prep, a little bit of jump mechanics, kind of breaking it down for them as well. And then moved on to the beep test.
The beep test.
Which was pretty interesting. So we did the 20-minute beep test. We had some interesting results, given the fact that they were a little bit tired beforehand, but the heat just killed everyone.
So what were you guys expecting from a bunch of coaches, a bunch of 10 coaches?
I gave
on the beep test.
I gave him stage 6.
Yeah, you were pretty spot on. I was expecting a little bit more. I was expecting sort of, sevens, maybe 8s. But yeah, Phil was pretty much spot on. He got highest person got 6.1.
That was Jarrett, yeah.
Lowest person got 2.5. So yeah, that's pretty low.
Yeah.
Just to go ahead and clarify this, my 12-year-old daughter got a 7. So.
She did, but as well, you got the heat. So the heat was our phones weren't working, our phones were overheating.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
The iPad was overheating.
Yeah,
it was pretty insane. So the heat was definitely a factor, which is a good thing for the future. We now know we can't do the big test in them sort of temperatures.
For sure, man.
Yeah. It's all information.
Somewhere in Australia, you're going to get to them temperatures. So it's
But it's a different heat in Australia.
It is a different heat, yeah.
Because for the listeners, I mean, it's not just the heat; it's the humidity. Phil, you guys in Florida, you have both heat and humidity.
Yep.
Us in Australia, we rarely. I mean, there's very few places in Australia that have this kind of humidity.
Yeah.
So
your girlfriend was like really, really talking about that heat, man.
Yeah,
and she'd come directly from Thailand
as well. Yeah.
So
I would say, the humidity in Florida is fucking terrible. We got the worst. You step outside, you sweat.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was kind of used to it, to be honest with you. But I can see how it could hurt the test in general. You know, but those are factors that we have to.
That's it. But most of them should be used to it. To be fair, that's what I'm saying.
In this part of the world,
a lot of them are from Singapore. They should be used to the humidity.
Sure, yeah.
They should be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So I mean, the results of the test were somewhat disappointing, given it was a bunch of coaches from this part of the world.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing. We actually had to make a new MAS calculator as well, just because the results
such shitty results
were so low on it. But yeah.
But I mean, I think all of the coaches got a lot out of the experience. They didn't just get tired and sunburned. I mean, they all learnt a lot.
So, in my opinion, man, I feel like it is always the better way to learn it by doing it. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Like everything I've done it to learn it, but I've done it like physically. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I like the workshops. That's why I like the practicals, because you can actually feel it.
Yeah.
And when you can feel it, now you have the means to actually show somebody else how to do it.
Not even just them feeling it, just them getting a level or a gauge of kind of how you're coaching and stuff. Some of the cues you're putting into and all that sort of stuff. So it's always good to watch other coaches and how they coach and their techniques to coaching. Whether they're more hands-on and more stand back. All that sort of stuff. It's always good to see. Because that's going to help you develop so much more as well.
Definitely.
You can read off the PowerPoints from day in, day out, but unless you're actually seeing someone else coach and someone you kind of respect doing it, that's when you're really going to learn.
I mean, I was just going to say, it's one thing to do an online course and answer a bunch of multiple choice questions about a topic, but it's a very different thing to go through, for example, an FRC workshop when you've got a coach like Phil or yourself or whoever, Andreo, it doesn't matter, somebody getting their hands on you, putting you in certain positions so you can feel what it's supposed to feel like. But then again, at the same time, as a coach being coached, that palpation is a skill, and it's a intuitive skill in and of itself, and I think it takes a lot of exposure to that sort of stuff. You don't learn that shit in online courses. You've got to be there in person with somebody, you know, walking you through it. So
for sure.
I think in that sense, these coaches that attended here in Singapore, they would have got a lot out of that. I mean, they told us all little snippets of what they got out of it. So the general consensus is it was a success.
Yeah.
But why don't we continue? What else went on?
So that was day 2 that we done that, the practical on the track. Came back, done a little bit more, and then day 3 I presented on MAS. So I showed some of the guys their results, basically kind of programmed for what their results were, and for a couple of fighters, like, you know, one of my fighters and one of Phil's fighters, just so they can kind of see the difference and see how you're going to program a big group of people
from shitty
with
to
differing results.
Kind of middling to elite.
Yeah, that's it. Because you know, most of the time, 90% of the time, you're not going to be able to train elite fighters, amateur fighters, and Gen Pop, you know, in separate situations. So you're going to have to mix them up a little bit.
It's going to be a varied.
Yeah, that's it. So I kind of showed a bit of their programming, you know, from how I'd program their results compared to, you know, in the same session as one of my fighters' results and one of Phil's fighters' results. So it's really good. Yeah, hopefully they got a lot out of that, and they can start implementing MAS by themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's a really, really useful tool. Just looking like fatigue management, knowing the intervals that your fighters can do, so they can't slack off, basically.
Yeah, but as well, like really zeroing in on the outcome you're trying to achieve, like zeroing in on the exact energy system, the exact kind of adaptations we want to get from each session. MAS, maximal aerobic speed, is an incredibly useful tool for that stuff.
I'm talking about the SED system or SED principle, right? That's what we were trying to accomplish with MAS. Another thing is it's a good auto-regulatory tool. So like if I'm looking at a deload, I want to deload off the MAS. I'll deload off the MAS and max heart rate, depending on how they feel.
You know the distances to give them.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no guesswork involved in there, and now you have a set system in place, whether instead of just like throwing shit at the wall or just guesswork, you know. So, and then another thing we did was a VBT, which was cool too.
Yeah. So we went into quite a bit of detail with the VBT, with the velocity training. Obviously, we done it on the first day. Most of them kind of stayed behind to watch you train, and we got your squat on the gym wear. And then today we everyone done a squat, so we got everyone's velocity profile, and then they watched you train for a bit as well. You and Mac do the bench press. But presented probably it's probably about an hour or something like that. Just on kind of the different tools you can use for the different technology available for velocity-based training. Obviously, not everyone can afford the gold standard like the gym wear, so we went through the apps that's available, went through the push bands, all that
pieces of equipment.
Stuff. And then basically how you can implement it into your training, how you can auto-regulate with it, how you can test with it, and how it can make your job a lot easier, basically, as a coach, But obviously, really trying to instill to them that it's not the be-all and end-all. There is some errors in it, and it shouldn't be, you're kind of, you shouldn't rely on it too much. You should still be relying on your coach's eye. And making sure that you're still with your athletes rather than just watching a screen all the time.
Definitely. And I don't know if this was by accident or or whether it's by some sneaky Dan Howard design, but the way the sequence of things ran with introducing the guys to VBT. Right, that Monday where we had Phil squatting with the gym aware, getting VBT measurements. We didn't really announce it. It wasn't part of the seminar. Phil was doing a squat session and we were recording his VBT, and whoever happened to be around after the seminar on that day, they saw what was going on and it piqued their interest. And I don't know if you were intentionally not giving too much information away about it. You were just kind of saying, I'll be talking about VBT on day 3, right? But I think it worked because when you went through your lecture, it was about an hour, like you said, on VBT, and there was a lot of detail, a lot of information. What really what surprised me, and I was thrilled about it, was that after today, after the seminar of day 3, you had a group of probably, I'd say, 7 of the attendees just huddled around you on your laptop, just listening to you spout off your nerdy bullshit about the VBTs for probably a good solid hour, I'd say. Like, this is just extra content that these guys got after the seminar. So
yeah, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
It's what I'm used to.
We was over here.
We
was on the bench, you know what I'm saying? That's all. I know I was getting stronger.
I just heard this monotonous British voice just going blah 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 in the background while we were benching.
Hey, everybody loves the technology, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you got a world level, elite level coach here training. Most people would love to see that. You get people paid to see high level people train. Powerlifter, bodybuilder, but they're interested in me. What can I say?
I guess so, man.
Look, I mean, hey, you can't argue. It seemed to have worked.
It was a shiny new toy. I know that everybody liked to hear.
Yeah.
But it was good though, because for me personally, when I bust out the gym aware, is primarily to see, that adaptation that I want to occur when it comes down to whatever method I'm trying to train, right? So if
whatever it is at the time.
Whatever it is at the time, if I'm trying to work speed, strength, speed, absolute strength, starter strength, whatever the case may be, I can see it from there. And then if I want to get a profile on them, if I have the time to, obviously, I can get the profiles on them, and then we can auto-regulate from the profile that I gained or that I had took in the beginning. But you don't use it every day. That's something that he said before. Dan said in the seminar, is like, we don't use it every day. Because you do want to have a regular coach's eye. You want to be able to coach your guys up. It's just a good way to use it for those measures, like as far as specific adaptations.
Yeah,
that's it. And I think that's what I said earlier as well. Is having the gym wear and having it available has actually given me a better coach's eye, because now I'm watching for that velocity. Even if I haven't got it on, I might not have used it for a week or whatever, but I'm watching that velocity, so I know when to cut the reps short or when to cut the set short. And it's quite, it's kind of quite obvious for me. Like when we were doing it for your squat, I was like, all right, we'll chuck on 10, you'll be on this velocity now. Yeah. So I'll chuck on 5, you'll be on this velocity now, So you kind of, you're always kind of judging it. If you watch it that much and you're using it that much and putting in the research, you don't need it. Obviously, I still use it for fatigue management and all that sort of stuff, but you can see the velocity drop off. So yeah. So it's definitely taught me a lot about, and improved my coach's eye in that aspect.
The visual correlation to the data that's showing up on the screen. You just get more attuned to what it is you're actually looking at.
Yeah.
When it comes down to explosive power sports and any type of high force output sports, like, you want to be explosive, so you want to move the bar with maximal velocity, so it gives us good intent also, for me. And I have to make sure that I'm cueing my guys, because they do want to rip the bar off the floor and they may lose form and technique goes out the window. So we have to make sure we're reiterating good technique so that it doesn't look like straight shit.
Yeah. But
it is a good way to have maximal intent on that bar speed so that you can recruit as many motor units as possible.
Absolutely. And we saw 1 or 2 examples of technique going to absolute shit for the sake of velocity today.
Yeah,
man, I was really worried about
homeboy. Yeah.
One of them. Yeah.
But the problem is that, like, you get guys that, and coaches, man, and coaches got to learn how to lift, man. You know what I mean? I think that's one thing that's been misconstrued. I know a lot of coaches that don't know how to squat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is another issue with the online courses,
Yeah.
You can know as much as you want, but if you've never stepped in,
do it.
That's it. Like, when I came out to Australia, I had to recertify from a set 3 and 4. I got mine in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was in a classroom with people that have never stepped foot in the gym before.
Yeah.
8 weeks later, they're in a gym coaching people. It's like,
that's crazy.
Fuck,
This is one of the major issues with the industry.
Yeah.
Before all of that, before my degrees, before my certifications, man, I was in the gym working.
Yeah.
Like, I've been lifting weights since I was 13 years old.
Since you were a kid, yeah, that's right.
So.
But that's the thing as well. Like, if you've never been in a gym, or you've never trained, you've never done that. Like, to be successful in this industry, you've got to be passionate about it.
Yeah.
So how do you know you're passionate about it if you've never stepped foot in a gym? How do you know you're passionate about coaching people in the gym? You never stepped foot in a gym.
But how do you know you're not going to make it unless you're passionate if you haven't? You know what I mean? Like, this is a chicken and egg scenario.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just don't know what they want to do, and then they go ahead and take that route because they see it. It's like oh, okay, we can do this. This is kind of simpler than going to be a lawyer or a doctor, whatever the fuck they want to do.
It's a long game.
At the end of the day, like, I was the same thing with my undergrad. I seen people in there. I've never seen them. They look like they couldn't even pick up their own shoes. You know what I mean? So it's a little different with this industry, and that's why, like...
Well, we're talking specifically about the personal training industry, right?
Yeah, I mean, even coaching, though. Like, I know some coaches that can't fucking lift anything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man, but I know a shit ton of coaches that can't deadlift a goddamn lick.
Yeah, so do I, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All over the place. Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's another thing. Like, if you're a coach, and specifically, man, if you're working with athletes that are strong and powerful, you better be able to show some shit. You better be able to do something, you know. And it don't matter. You don't have to be like, you know, a fucking elite athlete. But I need to see something. I need to see that you know what you're doing, and show me how you know what you're doing. By, you know, a lot of guys are visual learners. Yeah. So if we can't show them the proper way,
you got to be able to demonstrate. Yeah, and you know they'll respect you a lot more for it as well. Yeah. You know, like I've had numerous times if some of my athletes haven't seen me train or anything like that, and then I'm, you know, gone over like basic plyometrics or double contact drills, and then I get down and I do like, you know, one of the step up from what they're doing now. The fuck, how'd you do that so quickly? I'm like, you know, you got to be able to do it. You know, if you can't demonstrate it, you can't coach it. You know, it's like what you say. You need to be able to explain anything to a kid.
Sure.
You know, if you know it properly, and it's the same sort of thing with demonstrating it. You've got to be spot on, you know.
And it's the other thing when you're dealing with athletes, especially athletes like fighters. I mean, real recognise real. Yeah. You know, if you can't demonstrate in a way that they're going to understand, which a lot of the time with fighters and athletes is going to be visual and kinesthetic. Yeah. If you cannot communicate how it's supposed to be in one of those languages, you know, that you're not going to win that trust or that buy-in.
That's it. And now, you know, we're going back to the question that you asked me before. I think that's another reason why a lot of the fighters actually get more, you know, drawn to me, because I used to fight.
Real.
And I'm still doing active stuff inside the fight game, but, you know, and they know that I've been there before. So it's a good thing to create that buy-in, that trust, you know, that relationship, because they know I've actually been in it, been in the trenches, and I could get down if I really wanted to, you know. So, I mean, to an extent, obviously.
No, but still yet to be seen, Phil.
What you mean? You want to see?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Have you been in a fight since you've been in the cage?
What you mean?
Have you been in a fight outside of the cage since you?
Nobody's really tested me since they've been in the cage.
There you go. Yeah,
if you want to test me,
I'm not surprised, bro.
We can move the table, man.
I'm just saying, I'm not surprised.
I actually gained 30 pounds too, so it's even worse. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how well my cardio is right now, but we'll get that going. You know, but
you still train some aerobic stuff, yeah?
Yeah. Actually, I'm doing more aerobic work than I have been before. You know, obviously, I got to get ready for this meet in a couple months. So once that starts revving up, then obviously the conditioning will come down a little bit more. But right now, I have been working a lot more GPP, work capacity stuff, and getting my aerobic capacity higher so that I can actually work a little bit more to gain the strength. That's what we talked about also too in the seminars, that like a lot of people, especially lifters too, because we had some power lifters there too as well, that they were afraid to do any type of real aerobic work. They're gonna slow down, or they're gonna transfer the fast race to low, you know. But at the end of the day, you gotta have a work capacity to do the work ahead to get stronger, you know. And I think that a lot of lifters too are afraid of that. But now you look at lifters, and we talk about this too, is that no lifter that I know now isn't in shape. And I mean in shape as far as fit-wise. So, like, you got guys that are squatting 800-900 pounds with abs, as opposed to, you know, maybe 10 years ago, these guys were bellied out.
Strong powerlifting.
Yeah. And that was more towards gear lifting, and that kind of died out, you know, and now it's more the raw lifters that are doing that. You know, and honestly, and for me as a coach, I don't want to be that guy that just is that fat power lifter that just, you know, just strength trains, because I need to be multifaceted, because that's what I coach, and that's what I preach. You know?
This is a conversation we had with Dr. Jordan Shallow on my other podcast, the Unknown Strength podcast. He said just after the Arnolds at the Pro Raw competition at the Arnolds early this year here in Melbourne, or there in Melbourne, he said, you know, like, a lot of the guys like at Pro Raw, you could march them straight across from the podium at the powerlifting competition, straight, slap him in a Speedo, put some fucking fake tan on him, put him on stage at the bodybuilding competition, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like Dan Green's a good example of that. There's plenty of guys out there in the raw powerlifting world that do represent what you're saying. Like their physique speaks for itself. Yeah. Like they're just specimens in every way. Yeah. And this, while it's strategic for some of these geared lifters to grow these big bellies and get fat as fuck to give themselves a mechanical advantage.
Yeah, it's leverage and shit.
It's just it is becoming more on the periphery these days because the raw powerlifting is coming up in terms of popularity.
Now, I'm not saying listen, you don't have to be a bodybuilder status.
No.
I'm not saying you have to have six-pack abs. And honestly, it is good to have some body fat on you. And that's not the case. What I'm trying to say is that they're physically fit, so they can actually, go for a jog or at least walk down the street without catching a heart attack.
Yeah, it's health, man.
It's a health thing. Yeah. You want longevity in the sport. If you want longevity in general, you got to have that aerobic capacity. You have to have good heart health. And just lifting weights isn't going to do that. No. It isn't.
It can go. You can go a long way towards that, depending on what kinds of rep ranges and energy systems you're tapping into. But it's never going to take the place of aerobic systems.
A true aerobic work, to increase cardio output and not encase the heart in muscle. Yeah, this is going to help with more blood flow. Which, in case, I'm still babysitting mine. Yeah,
I noticed that.
Yeah. You know me, bro. I need to have some whiskey, bro. You know how I am.
Oh, fuck, we're all out. Sorry, bro.
Well, we're in Singapore, so once I get back to America.
Yeah, we're good, man. It's one of those nights. We're done presenting. We're getting pretty loose tonight, as you can tell. Well, I am. I'm on my fucking third beer. These guys are struggling to keep up.
That was my third.
Oh, right. So do you want to know one?
No, I'm good.
You heard it first.
I got to concentrate for all these questions that Phil's going to ask
me. Well, in that fucking case, so let's talk about what you read last night before Mac had to go ahead and give his presentation on it.
Don't tell me you didn't see this question coming.
Yeah. He already
primed me.
He already preempted me. So basically, read a paper last night. I've been meaning to read it for quite a while, and it's basically on neuromuscular fatigue and monitoring or assessing fatigue. So how we can assess it in different ways to assess.
What are some of those ways?
So went over maximal strength. Went over isometric strength, went over heart rate, so you've got your resting, your sleeping, your HRV, so your heart rate variability, and maximal and submaximal determinations of heart rate as well. And vertical jump, and it basically...
Dynamometer?
No, I didn't go over dynamometer.
Wasn't on there?
No.
Okay.
And it basically debunked them all, apart from vertical jump.
So, hang on. This study debunked all of the conventional methods for assessing fatigue.
Pretty much.
Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. So
what
it was
a controversial document, David.
It was a review study. It was a review article, and it reviewed 318 or 319 papers.
So an insignificant amount of data.
Yeah, not many. Mm-hmm. And it done it over. The papers were over. I think it was about 11 or 12 sports. So from
really not a broad spectrum of athletes.
To AFL, boxing, judo, kayaking, swimming,
archery
sports. I think archery might have been on there as well. Yeah.
Darts throwing in there?
I don't think darts was on there. I don't know if you need much fatigue.
Axe throwing wasn't on there.
Axe throwing wasn't. You definitely do need some fatigue monitoring that axe throwing by the looks of yours.
It's on.
Right, yeah, snuck that in there like you fucking are the man. But guess what? Listen. I don't give a fuck about these axe though. We can throw these hands though. You wanna do that?
Don't worry, I already beat him once in the axe.
So and it basically, it said every method it went over has got its place, and there's mixed studies on everything. So there's studies for everything saying it does work, a lot of studies saying it doesn't work as well. So the main thing from this article is if you're looking to track heart rate, you've got to use your sleeping heart rate. There's too many variables. You know, sleeping heart rate takes out a lot of irrelevant data, a lot of irrelevant variables that are going to happen day-to-day life. You've also got your heart rate, so that's going to change. You know, there's going to be day-to-day variance of, you know, it can be sort of like 6 to 8 beats, which is quite a lot if you're looking for increments or decreases. So basically you're looking to do a sub-maximal test is the only way that heart rate is really, really reliable as a source of fatigue monitoring.
The HIMSS test?
The HIMSS test, yeah.
Do you remember what that stands for?
No idea.
I reckon it's High Intensity Monitoring System.
No.
No?
No. It's definitely not that.
Fuck!
It is high interval.
High interval.
Yeah. Measuring system.
Right.
So when you said you didn't fucking know?
Is that?
He just said you didn't know.
Yeah, and he reminded me, and I knew he was wrong because it's Mac. So basically, you're looking to test.
Believe that shit?
Between 80 to 95% of your max heart rate, because that's got the least day-to-day variance.
Yeah, right.
So if you're using heart rate for a fatigue monitoring aspect, you need to measure it at 80 to 95%.
Just the least amount of variance from day to day.
Yeah.
Just explain that, because there could be some confusion over that.
Yeah, so your resting heart rate, your sleeping heart rate, you know, your walking heart rate, whatever, that can change from day to day.
Massive amounts of variance.
Yeah. So in the study they had sort of, I think it was about 8 to 12 beats or something like that, don't quote me on that, but I think it was around 8 to 12 beats 8 to 12 beats variance from day to day. Alright, which obviously if you're looking from a fatigue management point of view, 8 to 12 beats, you're going to think, right, they're not ready. Or, right, they're ready, up their weights.
I usually say 6 to 8, yeah.
Exactly. So, and if that's the variance, that might not be fatigue at all.
And when now in the study, were they doing the same time of the day every time?
Yes, they tested resting, which was at the same time, and then they tested sleep, which was at the same time, and then they tested maximal, which was under a test that they done. Yeah. And they also overreached and overtrained, or overreached their athletes. They didn't overtrain them because that fuck people up. That's not a good thing to do to people. So they overreach athletes for all testing. So you're looking at 80 to 95% on a sub-maximal test. Main thing will just make sure that sub-maximal test is the same every time. But obviously with anything with heart rate, you are, you know, as training progresses, you're looking to increase the cardiovascular efficiency. So you are looking to get heart rate adaptations and improve their heart rate. Alright, so you might be testing on, you know, they might have improved their heart rate, and you might be testing them on a good day. That means there's going to be less, you know, the data is just going to be totally irrelevant. So you are looking to improve their heart rate as you go, so how are you going to use that as a measure?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So basically the best one they looked at was the vertical jump. Again, there were studies that said it's got nothing to do with fatigue monitoring.
It's all CNS based, right?
Yeah, that's it. But it was an early detection for it. So you're looking at short-term fatigue of about 2 weeks or more. And they're looking at more unloaded. So they tested it loaded and unloaded. Loaded was with 10 kilos for females, 20 for males. Unloaded was just for the Daru rods across the back squat position, and the gym wear attached to there. Alright. And yeah, they found that was the best, and they found the best result for fatigue monitoring was vertical displacement in the eccentric phase.
So you'll need to explain that, because there are a couple of people there today who didn't really get their head around that concept.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I think they did at the end.
Yeah, because you explained it again.
Yeah, that's it. But so gym wear is pretty much the only thing that actually detects vertical, or not the only thing, but the only velocity-based trainer that detects vertical displacement.
What you mean by that is the angle at which
that's it. So obviously
things are deviating.
With a squat, for example, the bar should be going down and coming up on a vertical line.
Almost perfectly vertical.
Yeah.
Now, if you're detecting any kind of variance off that vertical plane in the eccentric,
that would be eccentric displacement.
And that's a very good indicator of fatigue.
Very good indicator for fatigue, yeah. On an unloaded Unloaded squat.
Because unloaded, that should be going fucking straight up and down, no problem.
That's it, yeah. And obviously, providing your athletes are efficient in the squat exercise, they've got good technique anyway, then yeah, that's what you'd be looking for.
Not so much for beginners.
No, definitely not. But then I wouldn't be getting beginners on the gym wear anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, they need to go through a development program to even get to this stage.
That's it. So, and then you've also got mean power, peak velocity, and then height was actually probably the most controversial. So that had, height in the vertical jump actually had the least data supporting it. So it's predominantly that eccentric displacement.
How are you measuring the peak? Was it mean power?
Mean power.
Mean power, peak velocity.
How are you measuring that? Just off the
gym wear.
How many reps?
5 reps.
So off of 5 reps, we're working peak velocity, mean power.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Were you not listening to that?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't even know if I went over that bit to be
He did.
He did mention mean power, peak velocity.
Yeah.
But it may have been.
But he didn't go over the reps.
Just in passing.
Yeah, no, I didn't go over the actual study and the reps they done and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. All right, you're off the hook.
Oh.
So yeah, it was a very interesting study. I'm pretty sure this video or podcast is going to get a lot of comments.
It's going to shake things up.
Because I've just basically told most people that what they're doing is bullshit.
Yeah.
But, not everyone's got access to a gym wear. Not everyone's got access to that sort of technology, and it's not always reliable. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with it, all that sort of stuff. So
plus it's expensive. It can be expensive.
That's it. It's expensive. HRV is reasonably is accessible to everyone. You can get the chest strap, you can go through there, you can go through Apple Watch, you can get the gold standard Omega Wave. Yeah. Same with heart rate, if that's all you can do, that's what you do.
That's all
it's better than nothing.
Yeah. But so long as you're comparing apples to apples, right?
That's it,
If you're using the same technology, the same modalities, the same testing parameters.
Gotta be consistent.
That's right. I mean, there's no point switching it up because, it's useless. It's totally different.
You've got to know why you're testing and how reliable that testing is, and when it's going to be at its strongest. So a lot of the data states that heart rate tracking is a late detection for fatigue.
Yeah.
So when you notice a massive increase or decrease in heart rate, they're already overtraining. So you've got to know if you do see that, that's it. You kind of you stop them right there.
So this would be one of the major factors as to why the vertical jump and the eccentric displacement would be, the thing they weight the most importance on, because it catches the fatigue early.
Yeah.
When the CNS is down, that's pretty much a warning sign that you're going into a recovery deficit. And things are going to turn to shit real quick.
Yeah, that's it.
Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I've used the vertical jump for a long time now. But I've never looked into eccentric displacement, so that's something I'm going to put a lot more research into.
It does really sound like an interesting field. And I think a lot of people are probably overlooking it because they're so set in their ways. But my question is to you, Dan. My wife Teresa brought up to you today, and I was listening, I was eavesdropping with great interest. She said to you,
"You're like, I'm going to catch down with this later."
She said, "So what are the possible biases from these motherfuckers who wrote this paper and did this study on 315 plus articles? Like, where are these guys from? Whose pocket are they in? Whose nipples and teats are they suckling?"
So the paper was written in Australia, ECU.
What's ECU?
Edith Cowan University. I'm not 100% where it is, maybe in New South Wales. Jim Weir is also from Australia.
Right. Sponsored by Edith Cowan University?
Not that I know of, but Edith Cowan University is one of the main universities for strength and conditioning.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, Masters in Strength and Conditioning in Australia. So they are one of the main universities for that.
So this may be a slightly thicker plot than everybody
thinks. It could be, but to get 318 hours articles all saying exactly what you want. That's a pretty fucking good effort.
Hang on. Do you remember, like, in the early days when Dan was folded into this podcast and these kinds of discussions? Do you remember the quote from him that you can argue and you can prove just about anything these days?
Yeah.
And he's done it before.
If you're doing your own research, and I've never found 318 articles proving me right.
What about if somebody paid you? Do you think you could just reference shit that, you know, I may be able to use 2 syllables from that study to prove the point, and you amass a 316 document reference page?
You could, but they can't lie about this stuff. So that means there are papers out there.
2 syllables?
That prove it, that it does and doesn't.
So with all this being said, I get it. All the technology that we have, right? What's the number one thing?
For fatigue management?
Yeah.
Vertical jump. Eccentric displacement on vertical jump.
Other than that?
Other than that, you're looking at sleeping heart rate.
Other than that?
Submaximal heart rate.
Other than that?
HRV.
Good job. So Omega Wave, I'm still with you, baby.
Yeah, we're still there, Omega Wave. But I mean, there's lots of different ways to look at this. There's lots of different factors to consider.
Yeah. Well,
if all you've got is this one piece of equipment, then that's all you're going to use.
That's it. And I'm sorry, actually, I'll go back on what you were asking about 100 times. After the vertical jump, it was HRV. So they said there is the strongest case for HRV for early detection, overreaching, and overtraining. But there's a lot more study out there. There's a lot more study needed. Sorry.
And this is, I hate to go back to it, but I will. Is having a trust with your athlete. Ask them questions. See how they're feeling. Obviously, if you have trust in your athlete, they're going to tell you the fucking truth. No matter how big or bad they want to be, they're going to give you a true answer, a definitive answer. Dustin, we use HRV, we still use HRV, but there's been times where he's been feeling like straight shit, and he had to call it a day.
And the
HRV reading was good.
Yeah.
He was ready to go in what they've written down or what they had. So we had to go against it. Is what it is.
We've had that too. It's not uncommon, and this is using a different system. I mean, I've been using Joel Jamison's Bioforce HRV for years now.
Number one. That's 3 altogether for this day.
All right, I'll tell you.
Listen, Joel Jamison, if you're listening, we'll get you on the podcast. You will make his day. You will make my man's day. So we're gonna speak soon, brother.
I'm just saying, like, Joel's probably the preeminent authority outside of Omega Wave on HRV research.
Yeah.
But I've had similar experiences where the readings tell you one thing and the athlete feels another thing. And Joel's he's been very open about all this stuff. In all of my dealings with him, when I've had situations like this, he tells it like it is. He says, right, so in this particular scenario, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a fail-safe. And there's way too many variables with the chemical soup that is a human organism to be able to nail it down to one thing.
Yeah, that's it. And this paper actually went on to biochemical markers as well. It just concluded that you just can't get them on a daily basis like you need to. It's just too hard to get. And they're not always a correct marker unless you're getting a fucking shit ton of result testing done. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, you know. As soon as someone does bring out the perfect fatigue management tool, they can sell it for hundreds of thousands of dollars to each fucking person, you know. So nothing's perfect. There's always going to be varied results for everything. I'm a firm believer in the vertical jump, and I'll use that now. I've used that for a while, and I'll use it in the future. But I also know it's never going to be, it's not the be-all and end-all. Yeah.
I think a good way to look at this is, you look at the 3 guys that are sitting here today. Phil's working with so many guys, he ain't got time to fuck around with too many things. His systems are what they are. when it comes to the perfect system, you know,
It's whatever one works for you. Yeah.
it's whatever one works for you. But I mean, like, we are busy as coaches. We got a lot of things to consider, a lot of variables, a lot of fucking shit going on in our own lives. You know, we want something that gives us a quick answer, a quick solution to finding out how fatigued our athletes are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, something that never really went wrong was obviously looking at coordination, looking at mannerisms, looking at like their body and how they're moving, and then just asking them questions. Like for me, with the amount of people I have, most of them even, it's hard for me to even get them to bring their heart rate monitor to the gym. You know what I mean? Because they'll forget, or they're doing a mid session over here, and then they got to run over there, then they got to run to me, and it's like, at the end of the day, I just got to make sure that I'm being a coach and asking questions, and then looking and assessing the problem if I see it.
So you always have to rely on that coaching skill.
I got to always rely on my coach's eye.
Yeah, that's it, and that's what's always going to come into it. You know, you've got to be a good coach. You know, I can't remember who it was, but always had, you know, one guy always told me he could tell how fatigued an athlete was. Obviously, this isn't an exact science, but just by their handshake.
The handshake,
you know,
how heavy their feet are.
Yeah, that's it. So, you know, and that's all about, you know, your coach's eye and knowing your athletes.
Yeah.
You know, that's what, nothing's ever gonna take away from that.
I usually look at their eyes. I see their eye contact. I see if they're roaming around. I'm looking in their eyes. If they're not looking in my eyes, if they're looking down, they're looking away. Usually it's a telltale sign that they're not in it today. So we got to back it off. And then sometimes I have to tell them to go home. And I've done that a couple times too as well. With high-level fighters that everybody knows, but I'm not going to say their name.
And they're really happy about that, I'm sure.
For real. Get fucking.
But if it's the best thing for the athlete in the time, like at that time, you've got to have full confidence.
Yes, and you know, athletes have got a lot of trust in him, so they know he's not going to be happy about it,
and
but they know if he says that, there's a reason for him to say that, you know?
Yeah.
Rarely the stakes higher than cases like the athlete we're talking about here.
Yeah, definitely.
If the best thing for that athlete is to go the fuck home and watch Netflix and eat popcorn, you know, then just do it.
We run the risk of injury at that point, you know what I mean? Because they're not going to be all there. And so instead of me doing that, maybe I'll run through a slight mobility session. But if it's just not there, it's not there. If they checked out mentally and physically, then what's the point, you know? So at that point in time, you got to be the bigger guy.
Man, you guys, seriously?
Well, I don't like Heinekens like that. I'm a fucking whiskey drinker, man.
I understand.
You know me.
This guy, come on. He's from the land of...
Heineken.
Hops and mead.
Shit. But so we were talking then. Tell them about, like, as far as when we're getting closer to the fight, and even in general, how big of slightly fatiguing the athlete, getting them in that fatigue state, and then having them work more efficiently, or at least work on explosive power and speed and strength. How well is that going to correlate over to the real field of play or inside of a cage? Because I know my guys, they need to be able to produce power. They need to be able to have still a maximum amount of speed that they possibly can, even in a slight fatigue state. You know
definitely. And you know, I do a lot of stuff like that with my guys in a fatigue state to try and simulate the fight. You're never going to be able to get there totally. You know, there's too many variables that you just can't account for. But you try to kind of simulate it as much as possible. You know, you try to push their heart rate up to certain percentages to get them where you want to be, and then you'll do maybe like some cognitive stuff or some power stuff or whatever you're looking to develop or whatever you're looking to see how they handle in a fatigue state. You'll get them on that. Main thing with that is obviously, you know, if we're looking for their kind of power development or their power generation in a fatigue state, it's not necessarily a power session.
No.
You know, we just want to see how they cope with it and how they can develop it and how they can produce it in a fatigue state, because that's what they're going to be. They're not going to be in the fight fresh in the first, end of the first, second, third, fifth round.
Absolutely. One thing I wanted to point out here is the difference between the way both of you guys go about this cognitive and fatigue management stuff. I mean, you obviously work a lot with Nick Davenport with the Fit Lights. You, on the other hand, work a lot with giving puzzles and challenges and do this when I really mean this. Trying to trick the athlete into explain that stuff.
Yeah. So it's whatever you've got handy, basically. So you got the Fit Lights, Phil. I haven't got them, so shout out to Fit Light if you want to give me some. But yeah, it's just basically trying to get them to think. So a lot of the studies have been done on mathematical, completing mathematical equations in the rest period. So these have been done for conditioning and for strength as well, and they've actually had high levels of performance increase for everything they've been done in.
I actually do a similar thing to that. Me and Nick will actually collaborate on that one, and we can do, and even like you said, with max strength and with conditioning, we may have to memorize a couple of words or a couple of numbers, or even just memorize a number and then we say another number. They have to multiply it after they do a max effort lift, and that's going to be basically their active recovery. Or they have to recite a certain type of sentence, or they have to recite a bunch of letters. Or
poetry. Ever worked with poetry?
I've actually, to be honest with you, and because I'm a fucking poet. No,
warrior poet.
Yeah, for real. They had, some of them had to recite certain themes from different movies and shit like that, theme songs from different movies, just fun stuff, and it kind of gets them laughing and it takes the edge off a little bit.
Off of the fatigue.
Yeah, and it gets them to enjoy the training, because at the end of the day, especially with my guys, man, they're there all the time. They're training nonstop. It's a very stressful state that they're in. So to get them having some fun inside their training, it's a little bit different as far as, instead of them, hitting the bag or hitting the pads and being so serious or being, sparring hard.
Laser focus.
It keeps them switched on.
Yeah.
And it reduces the monotony of the training as well. They're coming in doing the same weights, which obviously they shouldn't be, but doing the same sessions day in, day out, week in, week out. This keeps them switched on. They've always got to be thinking. So you've got to change it up though. You can't do the same sort of shit all the time. A few of the drills I do is basically, they'll be in kind of power stance or athletic stance. I'll tell them they've got to go left or go right, so they've got to be reactive to that. And then after that, I'll tell them they've got to go wherever I point, and I'll say the opposite direction, or I might say the same direction, so I point to the right, say left, or I point to the left, say right, something like that. They haven't got to get it right. They're going to be thinking about it all the time, so you don't worry too much if they're getting it right. Most of the time, I don't even know where the fuck we're meant to be moving.
So long as
they're thinking, that's all you're going for. Yeah. So, and then it goes all the way to one of the harder drills I do with them is they'll be moving left, right, forward, or back, and I'll be north. So then I'll say north, south, east, or west. Yeah. So they've got 4 directions. Pretty simple to start off with. It gets them thinking a little bit.
So you're north?
I'm always north, yeah. So as soon as they get used to that, I'll start to move.
Yeah.
So I'm always north, and every hand on that compass changes every time.
Yeah.
So then they've always got to think of that, and then even more advanced from that, they've got to go to opposite of where I say. So if I say north,
that is a cracking drill.
That's it. So if I say I'm north, I'm always moving. So north is always changing. And then when I say north, they've got to go south.
Yeah.
Then it's just everything's changing every time.
Yeah.
Again, you're not looking for them to get it right, but you're just looking for them to think and get them. Cognitive recovery.
But see, what kind of development are you looking for in that kind of modality over time?
We're looking for them to get better at it. So we're looking for them to eventually get it right.
Do you have metrics that you can compare results to?
Just using the coach's eye again. Right. With stuff like the Fit Lights,
you do that, man.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
We have. That's the thing. With us, with the Fit Lights, we have that data that we can actually calculate.
You've always got that
through
on the system.
So what Nick does, he'll have a baseline. We set a baseline in the beginning of camp, just like we would do for any other physiological assessment. And then we do a baseline assessment test which is the very easiest one that we can do, which is just basically like hand-eye coordination type stuff. And then they'll just sit down on a chair, and they'll see the green and red lights. They have to hit the green, they can't touch the red, and then see how fast their reaction time is. So it is reaction times, proprioception, hand-eye coordination.
Stop. Can everyone on camera see the lights, the laser show coming out?
I haven't even seen these ones yet.
That is the laser show that's happening on the top of the Marina Bay Sands Hotel here in fucking Singapore. And it stopped just as soon as I said that.
The fuck, Phil, come on.
Jesus Christ.
Matt.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
It's all good, man. Yeah, man, so
yeah, that's one good thing about the film is you've always got that data. So you can go back to it next time they do it, they improve you, whatever. I personally go with, just if I see them improving, or you can do video analysis on it, and you're not just looking for their reaction time, you're also looking for their movement. So you're looking for if they're moving a lot better, if they're reacting a lot better. You're looking for all kinds of tells that you can say that they're handling that fatigue better, and yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing it for. So it's good for improving performance in the next set, the next rep, whatever. But yeah, at the end of the day, we're looking for that kind of, to know they can handle themselves and they can keep straight and on point when they're fatigued.
A question on that. How would, as a coach, with your coach's eye, how would you organise your note-taking to record how an athlete is performing under these circumstances? Like, how would you organise taking notes so that you can compare it to the next time you do it?
Yeah. So I do video analysis.
Video?
Yeah. So I would video them doing it the first time, and then video them like 4 to 6 weeks later, depending on what their camp is. And then you see the improvements from there. Usually I'll go back home, check out the video, see what we want to work on, see what we need to improve on. Yeah. If we need to work on their stance, their movement, lateral drills, whatever.
So it's all totally dependent on you and how you see it.
That's it.
Okay,
another practical way is actually seeing how I perform inside sparring through that type of particular training modality. So like if they're moving a little bit more efficiently, if they're hearing commands from their coaches a lot more effectively, and they're going in and they're doing it fast and explosive and moving more efficiently, then obviously that's something that you could take into account as well. Obviously there's other factors there that could just be getting better from their skills, but at the end of the day, you know that you've actually gained something from that particular training stimulus, you know what I'm saying? So what I like to do is with the guys and like to see how they feel with it, is I'll actually have them do it post sparring or in between rounds, so that it can keep them cognitively sharp. Yeah. So like that'll be even a recovery time if the coaches will allow it, and pretty much Mike Brown's pretty cool with me just kind of going in, bringing Dustin out or whoever it is, could be anybody, bringing them out, doing about a 30-second cognitive, training stimulus, and then going right back in, and then seeing how sharp they are after the next round, and you can see it visually in real time, you know what I'm saying? So it's cool.
It's pretty cool, pretty open-minded of a head coach like that.
Yeah. With that as well, would you maybe sometimes work in commands that they're going to be getting from the coach?
Yeah, so we do that also. We do we'll throw out combinations and things like that. And actually, as they're throwing the combinations, they have to say we have an iPad that's sitting in front of them, so it'll blink out certain types of moves, so or submissions, whether it be a guillotine, key lock, Kimura, or whatever the case may be, triangle. They got to call that out at the same time they're throwing the combinations as Mike Brown, whoever's calling out the combinations.
Yeah, so we used to do that a little bit with the when I worked for the rugby team for the Rebels, and they would have to receive a pass. It would be short distance. They probably had 4 guys standing less than 10 meters away from each other. They had to receive a pass, rate that throw, and throw it all in like a split second or like a step.
Rate
so they would rate it. So it was on like a scale of 10, and actually
how powerful the pass was.
No, just how good it was, how accurate, how much the spin it had on it, everything about it. They had to rate it and pass it on, all within like a step. So it just gets them thinking when they're still doing stuff, and it gets them thinking about the next pass and the next move they're going to. Obviously, the coaches didn't give a fuck if it was You know, if they rated it right, they're not going, no, stop, you rated that an 8 and it was only a 6. They're not giving a fuck about that, but
that looks like a 4 to me.
It gets them thinking, and that's what they were looking for, you know, so it gets them really thinking about what they're doing, you know, where they're going to pass it on to next time, how that pass was they received, so
yeah, it's good.
So, that was a good little, very, very specific drill for them as well, so it's good.
That's getting back to the whole thing about, you know, getting them slightly fatigued and having them perform at the best that they possibly can. Because at the end of the day, when you step in the cage, especially when you're talking about people that I work with, there's a lot on the line. There's millions of people watching, so anxiety's already going to kick in and your heart rate's already racing as soon as you step in the cage. So right in the beginning of the fucking fight, you're already in a slightly fatigued state just from heart rate. I'm cool. I'm ready to go. So whatever. I mean, the thing is like, I want to have my guys ready to go in all aspects. So that if I can do that and I can get that done after obviously they had a baseline of power and we get that done and we get that stimulus, then we can start to work on, you know, sub-maximum power under slight fatigue.
Yeah, and that's something I really want to look into is, you're going to fucking laugh, I can't even mention it, is blood lactate in the ring. So, you know,
he said it.
I'd fucking love to get some testing done in the middle of a fight, which would be absolutely amazing.
It would, wouldn't it? I mean,
you can see how that blood lactate affects you, you know, because you've got your heart rate. Yeah, obviously we know that's being affected. It's common sense. But, you know, you've got a lot of other responses that you know are being affected, but no one knows how blood lactate is being affected
in a fight
by stepping into the ring. You know, even initially before the fight starts. You know, obviously there shouldn't be a rise there, we're guessing, assuming, but yeah, so you take it from the start, take it in between rounds and all that sort of stuff as well.
And that would involve, like, in the corner of a fight, pricking the ear, taking the reading.
That's it.
I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to do that in a UFC fight, but...
Why not?
Good luck.
Just hide it.
Very incognito.
Good luck.
But yeah, and you know, I keep meaning to talk to a few of the promoters in Melbourne. Or in Australia.
You could definitely get away with it in an amateur fight, for sure.
Amateur fight, for sure, yeah.
Wild West.
The difference between amateur fight and professional fight is pretty massive, you know, and then going on to UFC fight, that's going to be, it's pretty much irrelevant.
It's not going to happen,
you know?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Whereas if we get, you know, kind of one of our guys at a high level fight for them compared to one of your guys at a high level fight for them, it could be relevant data for everyone, you know.
Yep.
So whereas if you've got like an amateur, you know, fucking headgear on, shin guards on, if it's fucking MMA or Muay Thai, elbow pads on, knee pads on, huge gloves, no audience, no one cheering, no atmosphere, it's pretty much irrelevant data for anyone else. Yeah.
Also, it's almost impossible to make it incognito. You've got to lift the headgear up just to prick the ear to get the reading.
We'd never do it incognito because, you know, especially if you're doing a professional fight, that's lost license probably. So you know, the testing we do would make sure we had the doctors go ahead, even if it meant him taking the blood lactate, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
Just getting
or just swabbing one of the cuts.
The only issue you're gonna have is have somebody truly buy into that whole situation, where they don't even feel most of the time, and I'm going off experience, they don't even feel that's important for anything.
Nah.
You know, so. But obviously, if any other promotions want to go ahead and try that out, maybe something like ONE FC, something like that.
Hit us up.
If you want to fly me out here, you know, I'd go business class. I'm happy with that. It's cool. But it would be amazing data. And no one's, as far as I'm aware, no one's ever done it.
It certainly appears.
It would be pretty
territory.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys, let's fucking wrap this shit up. This has been a really, really cool, candid chat with an amazing backdrop here in Singapore after an amazing 3 days of seminar. Any final things you guys want to add? Phil, I know you've got some other shit coming up. Why don't we just plug that stuff and get the hell out of here?
Alright, so a couple weeks I'll be at FSI inaugural seminar in New York at Mike Camp's gym. You got the full address on that?
I got the full address. It'll be in the show notes, but that's in Bethpage, New York. November 4th, or is it November 5th?
It's the 4th on a Sunday.
4th, Sunday, November 4th. Bethpage Physical Therapy. It's a 4 or 5 hour seminar starting about 10 a.m. $100. please check out FightScienceInstitute.com. Go to the seminars section and you'll be able to buy your tickets there.
Yep. And end of November, I'll be in Paris doing my own seminar out there. If you need any information on that, you can DM me on Instagram or whatever. Email me, phil@darustrong.com. After that, I also have the mentorship program coming out in December. That should be good. It'll leeway into the certification testing for FSI as well. Mm-hmm. It's a 3-month course where you'll have access to me and email access there to go over any type of details that you want to learn as far as coaching goes. I have a couple of programs coming out. Ground Control is my new BJJ program. It's going to be a 12-week strength and conditioning program to lead you into any type of competition or tournament, and for any general public that just wants to train and get better. And also, Fight Ready still out. We still got a bunch of new things coming out as far as we just added another day, so it'll be actually you added 2 days, so it'll be a 4-day program now.
Fight Ready 2.0.
2.0, yeah, for the general public that wants to train like a fighter in a 12-week camp. So those are the 2 things that I got going on as far as programs go, and that's pretty much it to lead out the year.
All right, Dan, what's your Instagram?
I don't think I mentioned it today yet. So it's at Dan Absolute Conditioning. Just trying to get as much content out as possible, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some more infographics to come as well.
Hopefully.
Definitely. At
Daru Strong, at Unknown Strength. Follow, DM, all the rest. Like, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook as well. We're all there. I hope you guys have enjoyed this very, very unique episode of the Fight Strength podcast today.
Yep, it's all good. I appreciate you guys coming out. We had fun, all right?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, you guys, we're out.